But presidential historian Burt Folsom says the markets might be seeing a repeat of an upset election year, at least started out that way, when out of nowhere Ronald Reagan didn't only win, but he ended up winning big. Now, is there anything that you see, Burt, underneath the surface that bears watching or that we in the media might be missing?
Well, it's true that there is a parallel in that the market is down at the election time in both elections. It could be that the Fed rate hike is playing a role. There are a lot of concerns now, too, because of the uncertainty with the election and the election results. But keep in mind, in both cases, the economy has performed very poorly in the previous administration before the election. So, I mean, the Dow hit the 1,000 for the first time in 1966 and was under 1,000 in 1980. And then, of course, skyrocketed under Reagan.
So there would be differences now. The Dow's had an appreciable run-up, so maybe a pause is due, and maybe we are making a big deal out of nothing. But apart from just those markets, I'm wondering if these very close polls, the battle for the battleground states, the fact that the Democrats are devoting so much time in traditionally safe states, the Trump people come on here and immediately tell me, aha, they're nervous, they're worried. But I look at the same polls that show it's not exactly Trump leading in those states, with the exception of Ohio. So what do you make of all of this?
Well, Trump is doing much better than Romney in Michigan, of course, Ohio, and also Pennsylvania, and that concerns the Democrats very much. The Democrats are not
Trump winning Pennsylvania, though?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I think he can.
Okay.
Because of the fracking concern, too, is one that an issue that works in Trump's favor.
You know, when we get all this early voting, I raised this with Chris Wallace, do you get a sense that it's heavily favoring, with the high turnout Hispanic vote in Florida, for example, Hillary Clinton? Now, we'll never know, but that's sort of like a consensus view. But I've always wondered if Donald Trump doesn't have to win that vote, but if he could score higher than 30% of that vote, media damning comments notwithstanding, that could be a significant development, couldn't it?
Well, it could. Now, Hillary is doing just about as well as Obama, or at least in Florida and North Carolina, she's doing better than the Democrats might expect. But she's doing much worse in those northern industrial states. And the Hispanic vote is working to Hillary's advantage, but the white vote is working to Trump's advantage.
Yeah, you know, you always remind me, professors, about whose voters, supporters are more jazzed to turn out on Election Day. Now, the advantage that the Hillary Clinton forces have is they have a lot of money, they have a great ground game, they can literally push people out of their houses into a van and get them to the voting booth. I'm being trivial here to make the point that's no trivial advantage. How does this play out? Who gets out their vote in the most passionate numbers?
Well, it could work both ways. Remember, Reagan was, on the weekend before the election, Reagan and Carter were roughly tied.
Right.
And Carter, as an incumbent, as a sitting president, had a good ground game in many states. But Carter lost by 10 points. So the ground game obviously is very valuable, but when you have a strong trend moving against you, a good ground game can't even offset that strong trend.
All right, we'll watch closely. Burt Folsom, presidential historian, I thank you for that.
Thank you, Neil.
All right,